A man sits in his kitchen. Midnight, cooking sausages. The door opens. He turns around and smiles. He knows this person. He trusts them. 7 bullets tear through his face. The most powerful mobster in America, dead in his own kitchen, murdered by someone he called a friend. This actually happened, and the reason why will shock you. If you want to know the truth about how America's biggest crime family destroyed itself from the inside, you need to watch this entire video. Hit that subscribe button right now, because what I'm about to tell you has never been explained like this before. This is the true story of the Chicago outfit. October 17, 1931. A courtroom in Chicago. Al Capone, the most feared man in America, hears the judge's verdict. 11 years in federal prison for tax evasion. Capone's empire controlled everything. Illegal alcohol during Prohibition, gambling, prostitution, labor unions, politicians, police officers, judges. The Chicago outfit was making over $1 billion a year in today's money. But Capone made one fatal mistake before going to prison. He never officially chose who would take over after him. And in the world of organized crime, when there's no clear leader, men start killing each other for the crown. When Capone went to prison, Frank Nitti took control. Nitti was Capone's most trusted lieutenant. Smart, quiet, calculated. For 12 years, Nitti ran the outfit successfully. He expanded into new territories. He moved operations into Hollywood, extorting movie studios for millions. The money kept flowing. But Nitti had a problem. He wasn't Al Capone. He didn't have that presence, that fear factor, and the younger mobsters in the organization were getting ambitious. By 1943, the FBI was closing in on Nitti for the Hollywood extortion scheme. He was facing serious prison time. Nitti had watched what prison did to Al Capone, the isolation, the syphilis, the mental breakdown. On March 19, 1943, Frank Nitti walked along railroad tracks near his home in Illinois. He was 57 years old. He pulled out a .32 caliber pistol, put it to his head, and pulled the trigger. The second boss of the Chicago outfit killed himself rather than go to prison. Now the real war was about to begin. Make sure you're subscribed because this story gets even crazier. And smash that like button if you're enjoying this so far. 3 men wanted to be the next boss. Paul Ricca, the old guard. He'd been with Capone since the beginning. Sophisticated, connected to politicians and judges. He represented the traditional way of doing things. Tony Accardo started as Capone's bodyguard, worked his way up through violence and intelligence. Quiet, deadly, patient. They called him Joe Batters because Capone watched him beat 2 men to death with a baseball bat for betraying the outfit. And Sam Giancana, the young wolf, only 35 years old but already a millionaire, ambitious, flashy, dangerous. He wanted power and he wanted it immediately. Here's what actually happened next. Paul Ricca officially became boss in 1943, but Ricca had learned from Capone's downfall. He saw what happened to Nitti. He understood that being the public face of the mob put a target on your back. The FBI, rival gangs, ambitious underlings, everyone wants to take down the boss. So Ricca made a genius move. He stepped back and made Tony Accardo the boss. Ricca would be the advisor, the consigliere, operating from the shadows. And it worked perfectly. Accardo didn't want attention. He didn't wear expensive suits. He didn't go to fancy restaurants. He lived in a normal house and acted like a regular businessman. But behind the scenes, Tony Accardo was building an empire. He expanded the Chicago outfit into Las Vegas, Miami, Los Angeles. The outfit started controlling casinos, unions, and politicians across the entire country. By the 1950s, the Chicago outfit was the most powerful crime family in America. They made the New York families look small by comparison. But there was one problem. Sam Giancana was watching, waiting, and he was tired of waiting for his turn. Let me ask you something before we continue. Are you subscribed yet? Because what happens next is the wildest part of this entire story. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a video like this. Sam Giancana was everything the old bosses weren't. Loud, flashy, violent, he loved attention. He dated Phyllis McGuire, one of the famous McGuire sisters singing group. He partied with Frank Sinatra and the Rat Pack in Las Vegas. He wore expensive suits and drove luxury cars. Everything Tony Accardo stood against. But Giancana was making money, lots of it, and in the mob, money talks. By 1957, Accardo was getting older. He wanted to step back, so he made Sam Giancana the underboss, essentially running the daily operations of the outfit. This is where things got dangerous. Giancana loved the spotlight. Reporters wrote articles about him. He appeared on magazine covers. FBI agents followed him everywhere, and he bragged about it. Then came 1960, the presidential election. And this is where the story becomes almost unbelievable, but it's completely true and documented. Sam Giancana allegedly helped John F. Kennedy win the state of Illinois through the outfit's control of labor unions and manipulation of votes in Chicago. Some historians believe Kennedy wouldn't have won the presidency without Illinois, and he wouldn't have won Illinois without Giancana. Giancana thought he had a friend in the White House. But when Kennedy became president, his brother Robert Kennedy became Attorney General, and Robert Kennedy declared war on organized crime. His number one target, Sam Giancana. The irony was devastating. Giancana helped put the Kennedys in power, and they turned around and tried to destroy him. But it gets even crazier than that. In 1960 and 1961, the CIA actually recruited Sam Giancana to help assassinate Fidel Castro in Cuba. This isn't a conspiracy theory. This is documented fact. The CIA wanted to use the mob's connections in Cuba to kill Castro. The plan failed, but it shows just how powerful and connected Giancana really was. By 1965, Sam Giancana had a massive problem. The FBI was following him everywhere. 24 hours a day, they were parked outside his house. They followed him to restaurants. They sat at tables next to him while he ate. He couldn't conduct business. He couldn't make money. And the Chicago outfit was losing millions of dollars because Giancana's ego had brought too much heat. Tony Accardo and Paul Ricca had enough. They forced Giancana into retirement and sent him to Mexico. In the mob, retirement doesn't mean you get a pension and a gold watch. It means you're being pushed out, and everyone knows it. Giancana lived in Mexico for nearly a decade, running a few operations, but mostly isolated from real power. In 1974, he returned to Chicago. This was a mistake. The Senate had launched an investigation into the CIA and mob connections. They wanted Giancana to testify about everything. The Kennedy assassination, the Castro plots, the outfit's operations. Sam Giancana knew too much. June 19, 1975. Late at night, Sam Giancana is at his home in Oak Park, Illinois. He's in the basement kitchen, cooking Italian sausages and peppers. Someone he knows enters the house. Someone he trusts completely. No signs of forced entry, no struggle. Giancana turns around. 7 shots, 6 bullets to the face and throat, tearing through his chin and neck. 1 final shot to the back of his head. The most powerful mobster in America is dead in his own kitchen, killed by someone close to him. To this day, nobody has been officially charged with Sam Giancana's murder, but everyone in Chicago knew what happened. The outfit had cleaned up their loose end. Giancana was scheduled to testify before the Senate in 10 days. He was never going to make it. If this story is blowing your mind, make sure you hit that like button and drop a comment below. I want to know, who do you think was the smartest Chicago outfit boss? Comment your answer right now. Giancana's death didn't end the violence. It made things worse. Throughout the late 1970s and 1980s, the Chicago outfit became more brutal and more chaotic. Tony Spilatro, the outfit's enforcer in Las Vegas, became famous for the M&M murders. He and his crew tortured 2 men, putting their heads in vices and tightening them until their eyes popped out of their skulls. Both men died from the torture. This actually happened. These were real murders that were later documented in the famous Family Secrets trial. The mob that Al Capone built on business and strategy had become something else entirely. Chaos, paranoia, violence without purpose. The FBI started using the RICO Act, a law designed specifically to take down organized crime. They flipped members, turning them into informants. The code of silence, omerta, was breaking down. One by one, the bosses fell. Arrests, long prison sentences, more murders. Tony Accardo, the one man smart enough to stay invisible, lived until 1992. He died peacefully at age 86 from natural causes, in his own home, surrounded by family. He was the only major Chicago outfit boss to die of old age. By the early 2000s, the Chicago outfit still existed on paper, but it was a shadow. The Family Secrets trial in 2005 was the final blow. 18 murders, multiple bosses and soldiers convicted. The last generation of major players went to prison. Today, the Chicago outfit is essentially finished. Some small gambling operations, some loan sharking, but nothing like the empire Capone built. So what actually destroyed the Chicago outfit? Was it the FBI? Was it RICO laws? Was it the end of prohibition? No. It was the power struggle itself. Al Capone understood something his successors forgot. In organized crime, the organization is more important than being famous. Capone built an empire because he built a structure, rules, hierarchy, discipline. But after Capone fell, everyone wanted to be the next Capone. They wanted the fame, the power, the recognition. Frank Nitti killed himself rather than face prison. Paul Ricca was smart enough to operate from the shadows. Tony Accardo survived by staying invisible, living like a normal person. But Sam Giancana wanted to be famous. He wanted everyone to know he was a gangster. He dated celebrities. He appeared in magazines. He bragged about his power. And it destroyed him, and it destroyed the Chicago outfit. The lesson is simple but brutal. The moment ego becomes more important than the business, the empire falls. Al Capone went to prison in 1931. He died in 1947, mentally broken, suffering from advanced syphilis, barely able to recognize his own family. But his criminal empire lived for decades after him, not because people were loyal to Capone the man, but because they were loyal to the structure he created. When that structure broke down, when the successors started fighting each other instead of protecting the business, the empire collapsed. The Chicago outfits war wasn't just about who controlled Chicago. It was about whether organized crime could survive in modern America with FBI surveillance, RICO laws, and ambitious mobsters who cared more about fame than strategy. It couldn't. Al Capone built an empire. His successors destroyed it, not with bullets, not with badges, but with ego and ambition. If you found this story fascinating, you need to subscribe right now, because next week I'm covering how the mob secretly controlled Las Vegas and how one undercover FBI agent brought down the entire operation. Hit that subscribe button, smash the like button, and drop a comment telling me which mob story you want to hear next. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.